good. We are ready to rock and roll and really fill the sky with some energy and zest. You know who's coming to tell you all about it. Please welcome Red 10.
Thank you, George, and a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm Squadron Leader Mike Ling, and I'm Red 10. I'm the supervisor with the Royal Air Force Aerobatic team, the Red Arrows. I'll be talking you through what's about to happen and make sure you enjoy every last minute of it. So I've just checked in with Red 1. We've got 9 jets airborne from Biggin Hill Airport, and they're going to be coming across on time at 4:30 to give us a wonderful performance here in the skies of Eastbourne to finish off what has been an incredible, albeit slow start, Airborne in 2015. And the guys are really privileged, and we're very honoured to be closing the display here. We had a huge day yesterday, massive crowds, and again, arriving today, it seems as though we've got another fantastic crowd, and I'm expecting just as much clapping and cheering as we had yesterday. They really were on top form, and I'd like it if you were as well. Well, the Red Arrows are a military unit of around 120 personnel. We all volunteer to join the team. It's not just pilots in the team. There are 11 pilots. We're commanded by Wing Commander Martin Higgins, and he's in charge of all the administrative and safety and disciplinary matters on the team. He commands 10 pilots, the 9 you're about to see display, myself as the supervisor, but more importantly, he commands our support staff. They wear blue suits while the pilots wear red, and our support staff are known as the Blues. They're primarily made up of engineers, but we do have photographers, suppliers, administrators and drivers, and they represent a spectrum of the ground trades within the Royal Air Force. They're very experienced Royal Air Force personnel. They volunteer to join the team and come from other frontline squadrons or on duty in the Royal Air Force, so they've got a lot of experience. They'll come to the Red Arrows for 5 years to master their trades, and then they'll go back with the experience they've gained on the team to go back to their frontline units and carry on their duties. We've got a number of the Blues here at Eastbourne today. They are manning our red and white public relations units, a small inflatable style igloo tent. And if you'd like to go along and talk to those Blues, then you can speak to them about their experiences in the Royal Air Force and find out what their own individual branches and trades are like. And that's exactly what they'd like you to do. They've got lots of brochures and posters for you as well, and you can find out more information. So please go along after the display and chat to our Blues. But the display wouldn't happen without them. They really are the hard-working members of the team. They work tirelessly throughout the year to make sure that our busy summer season is a success and we can put on these displays for you. So why don't we just now put our hands together just to make the Blues loved. Let's give a big round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen, for the Red Arrow support staff, the Blues. Those of you down towards the Martello Tower might see a couple of the Blues on top of the tower. We've got our PR officer there, Ms. Jo Pearson. She's one of our civil servants. 2 of the members of the team and our PR team are civil servants, and that's Jo Pearson waving there. I can't see who the other one waving now is, but we have got a cameraman up there. It's Corporal Steve Buckley. So they're all up there waving at you. They've enjoyed their weekend here at Eastbourne. George has just been talking about the Battle of Britain and how securing the skies back in the summer of 1940 was a very important part, and the Hurricane and Spitfire there are dedicated to the honour of what the guys did, the few did back in the Battle of Britain. I'll talk more about it during the display, but I've been very privileged today to actually take part in a Spitfire flight. I was flown in a Spitfire this morning from Biggin Hill. Biggin Hill was one of the sector stations, one of the busiest stations in the Battle of Britain, protecting London and the airspace in London. I was offered a Spitfire trip this morning. I flew in the back seat to another display we did at Headcorn. And what got me just thinking about securing the skies was just before I launched to go to Headcorn, I had a quick read of a website I found, and I looked at what happened at Biggin Hill on August the 16th, 1940. So 75 years ago, at the exact time that I took off in a Spitfire, there were Spitfires and Hurricanes launching from all of the sector stations and the satellite airfields in the southeast to go and intercept the enemy aircraft that were coming over. There were 200 plus enemy aircraft coming across the coast here, ladies and gentlemen, and it was the Royal Air Force back in that day that secured our skies. And it's exactly what the Royal Air Force are doing today. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we are securing the skies. Well, I've checked in with Red 1. They're going to be on time. And by my watch, I reckon that's in 1 minute exactly. And when they arrive, they're going to be in a formation we call Big Battle. This is a big V shape. The jets will be flying at 400 miles an hour. They're going to be around 20 feet away from each other, and they'll be emitting some of that fabulous patriotic red, white, and blue smoke. Now, boys and girls, if you didn't hear me yesterday, I'll explain that I used to be a Red Arrows display pilot. I know very well that when the jets fly past, the pilots will be able to see you waving. So when I tell you, please, get your arms in the air, give them a massive wave so that they can see you and how much you're enjoying it. And if your claps and cheers are loud enough, then I'll get them transmitted over my radio to the pilots so that they can see, hopefully, how much you're enjoying the display here at Airbourne. We should be running in very shortly. Red One makes the decision just before the start of the show as to what type of display. We've got 3 types of show. Our full display allows looping maneuvers, but that needs a minimum cloud base of 5,500 feet. So we'll see what Red One has assessed the cloud base at, and he will make that decision the very last minute as they run in to start the show. If it's lower than 5,500, you'll see our rolling show. He's just said starting rolling, so he assesses this cloud as below 5,500 feet. So now let's have a huge round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome to close the Eastbourne Air Show, the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrows!
Come in. Left. Now.
You hear the voice there of Red One as he enters a left-hand turn. He's just calling the pilots into 9 arrow formation. In this left-hand turn, you'll see the jets collapse to around 6 feet apart now as they form the shape of one big red arrow in the sky. Red One is squadron leader David Montenegro, and it's his first year as the team's leader. He is a former Hawk flying instructor and Tornado F3 air defense pilot. He first joined the Red Arrows back in 2009, flying until 2011 and leading the synchro pair. He then left to become an instructor teaching on the Tucano. Cameras ready, in from the left, this is 9 Arrow.
Rolling. Out. Listen it. Out. Chevron.
Reds 8 and 9 pitch up to roll back rapidly into Chevron. They tuck in there behind Reds 4 and 5 before they come right now towards Beachy Head. On the leader's right wing is the first of our 3 new pilots this year. He's Red 2, Flight Lieutenant Mike Bowden. Mike started his career as a Hawk flying instructor before then moving on to fly both the Harrier GR9 and the Tornado GR4 before he joined the Red Arrows at the end of last season, ready for this season's display. And that's him flying in arrow references on the leader's right wing now. So out towards Beachy Head, they're descending down to 300 feet, setting up for the first of our formation barrel rolls in the shape of chevron as they get ready to fly the chevron roll.
Easy. Up. Second. Jump. And roar.
As the jets go upside down, everybody, this is where the pilots can see you waving. Let's give everybody a big wave. 2,500 feet above us at 400 miles an hour. Those 9 jets going upside down together with the aircraft only 6 feet apart. This chevron shape, clearly Red One at the front in the middle. We have the odd-numbered pilots on the left and the even-numbered pilots fly on the right. In their 3 years with the team, they will start at the front near the leader. As they become more proficient at formation aerobatics, they move further back in the formation. On the leader's left wing is the next of our new pilots. He's Red 3, Flight Lieutenant Emmett Cox. Cox is actually from New Zealand, but he moved to the UK to join the Royal Air Force in 2002, becoming a Tornado GR4 pilot and then Tucano flying instructor. Out to the front left, the smoke goes off. We formed a new shape. I've already said it, George said it. We are celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Britain this year. And we've introduced this shape in the display for 2015 to honour all of those who took part in securing our skies in the past and those that continue to do so in the present. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause. This is Spitfire. Well, back in the summer of 1940, it wasn't just the fighter pilots, the few who worked to secure our skies. Everybody in the Royal Air Force had their own part to play, whether they were aircrew, ground crew, mechanics, armourers, administrators, plotters, air traffic controllers, or observers. Everybody did their own bit to make sure that our skies were secure. And today, the Royal Air Force is no different. We operate on the whole force concept, relying on regulars, reservists, civil servants, and contractors through a variety of branches and trades to ensure that the Royal Air Force can deliver its output. And that's exactly how we operate in the modern Royal Air Force. Now looking up and left, we're descending in our trademark shape in diamond. The lowermost aircraft as we see it is flown by the last of our new pilots. He's Red 5, Flight Lieutenant Tom Bold. Tom started his career as an instructor on the Tucano aircraft, teaching basic fast jet training. And then he moved on to fly the Typhoon. You saw it display earlier, the Eurofighter Typhoon, which is the Royal Air Force's newest advanced multi-role combat aircraft. The primary role of the Typhoon is what I've been talking about quite a lot, that's securing the skies. Our Typhoon force is at readiness 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, ensuring that the skies of the UK and the Falkland Islands is secure. And that's what Tom was doing when he was flying on the front line on the Typhoon. Now out towards Beachy Head, you see the diamond has widened slightly as we get ready for a new manoeuvre for this year. The smoke comes on as we get ready to fly the Whirlwind.
Right. Rolling now.
Each of the pilots in the Whirlwind, they're flying an aileron roll manoeuvre, so they're just pushing a full left-hand control column input to roll the aircraft rapidly around its longitudinal axis. The key to the Whirlwind is getting all 9 jets doing it at exactly the same time. Looking out left now, you see with the smoke on, we collapse this very big loose diamond shape into a tighter shape, which is the shape of an aeroplane. In fact, a very fast former American spy plane. The smoke's about to go off in this shape. The smoke goes off in the shape of the former American spy plane, the SR-71, which was known as Blackbird.
Left it. Out. Reversing. Left. Now. Second. Down. Hold in the bike. Now. Tight. Okay.
So this is Blackbird. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the first part of this Red Arrows display, where so far you've seen all 9 aircraft together flying close formation aerobatics. Well, now we're going to split down into smaller sections of 2, 3, 4, 5 or 7 jets and show you some even more dynamic manoeuvring. The big T shape out to the front right is called Dagger, and at the front of Dagger are Reds 1 to 5. Their collective name is Enid, after Enid Blyton's famous 5. And at the back in the straight line are Reds 6, 7, 8 and 9. Their collective name as a formation is Jippo. Jippo was the nickname of the gentleman who first led the back 4 aircraft when the Red Arrows started flying their 9-ship displays officially back in 1968. So Enid at the front, Jippo at the back, and they're about to roll out directly towards us with the smoke about to come on. It's definitely time to get your cameras ready. Those 9 jets point towards us, flying over 300 miles an hour, accelerating as they ramp down towards the beach. The smoke comes on. Cameras ready for the second half of the display in the detonator. The 5 aircraft of Enid split. Keep your eyes on Jippo. with his smoke changing from blue to white over on the right-hand side is Red 6. He's the leader of our synchro pair. He's Flight Lieutenant Mark Lawson. Mark's in his third and final year as a Red Arrows pilot, and his background in the Royal Air Force was solely on the Tornado GR4, where he spent a number of tours and became a qualified weapons instructor. On the right towards Beachy Head, Red 6 is with Red 8. If you look left, with the smoke on, is Red 7. He's chased down by Red 9. These 4 aircraft now descend to 100 feet above the sea. Their closing speed is now 800 miles an hour. Cameras ready for the amazing Jippo Pass. The synchro pair leave their smoke on. They're turning away from us now. They're pulling 6G, or 6 times the force of gravity. Everything in these pilots' bodies is weighing 6 times more than normal. They're working really hard to fight the G-force now as they roll out back towards us to fly the Cyclone. Synchro pair slingshot front. You need to look to your right, 45 degrees now. Right 45 degrees to find Enid. The wings of Enid drop down to form an inverted V shape. In from the left, a lone jet who is Red 9. He gets ready to fly the Goose.
Power coming right now. In the bank now.
Climbing very steeply with a red, white and blue stripe is Red 9. He's Flight Lieutenant Joe Hurston. Joe is a second-year pilot with the team. He's the team's executive officer, and his background was as a Hawk instructor and Tornado pilot. He then went back to fly the Hawk as an instructor, this time in its new guise, in the Royal Air Force's newest advanced jet trainer. You saw them display earlier, the Hawk T Mark II. Now looking directly ahead to find the synchro pair.
And pulling up.
They pull up at 500 miles an hour and 5 times the force of gravity. Reaching a height of 7,000 feet, on comes the red smoke as they get ready to draw a fabulous heart in the Eastbourne sky. Looking top right of the heart, here comes another jet to add a final touch. This is Red 8. He is Flight Lieutenant Ollie Parr. He's a third and final year pilot with the team, and he's drawing a heart, a spear through the heart. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, Red 6, 7 and 8 with their heart and spear. Now, the Red Arrows would like to dedicate this heart to a young lady who's just had a heart transplant. This is for Ruby Wright. She's 11 years old and she's just undergone a successful heart transplant operation. So Ruby, that heart is for you from the Red Arrows. Left and right again for the synchro pair at 100 feet, ready for the opposition barrel rolls. Now look out to the left, you'll see Enid being joined by Red 8 there. He's been flying around at 600 miles an hour to join in the rest of Enid. Red 8 there, not quite making it in time. He's obviously just speared the heart, and even 600 miles an hour isn't enough to catch up with the rest of the aircraft as they enter that next maneuver. The big T shape of Tango now changes. Reds 4 and 8 go right, Reds 5 and 9 go left as they move forward into a shape known as leader's benefit. When the Red Arrows fly their jets only 6 feet apart, they're not looking at the aircraft next to them. Everybody has their own reference on the leader's aircraft, and they just trust that the pilot with the jet just 6 feet away is going to be flying it in the right place. With this further forward position, they get a better view of Red 1, hence it's the name Leader's Benefit. And this shape is around 100 meters or 300 feet wide from left tip to right tip. So coming in now, nice straight line with the smoke on, is leader's benefit.
Out. Left in it. Out.
Left and right again now for the synchro pair. This time red 6 comes from the left and red 7 comes from the right. Here he comes around Beachy Head. They're closing again at 800 miles an hour. They're going to cross 3 times in opposing 360-degree 6G turns. Get ready for the carousel. Remember that everything in their bodies is 6 times heavier. The pilots are still working hard in this entire maneuver, pulling 6G. They're going to cross 3 times. Now watch at each of these 3 crosses. The pilots swap their smoke colour from red to blue and vice versa, using the individual colour control buttons on each of the aircraft's control columns. And round the front, they switch back to white smoke. Looking now, right 45 degrees, we are going to find Enid. Out right 45, the smoke is on. Reds 1, 2, 3 and 5 form a box formation. The 5th jet is now going to roll around them a dozen times.
Come in. Right. Now.
You'll like this one, it's the Twister.
Hold in the bank. Now. Tight. Okay.
Getting very dizzy there with his red smoke. About to go blue is red 4. He's Flight Lieutenant Stu Campbell. Stu is a 2nd-year pilot with the team. He is a former Tucano instructor and Tucano display pilot, and he moved on to fly the Tornado GR4 with number 617, the Dam Busters Squadron, before joining the Red Arrows. The Twister finishes front left. Drag your eyes round to the left now. We're going to find Jippo, and in the first half of the display, we saw a formation barrel roll. This time, it's a formation barrel roll with a very big difference. So eyes left, the smoke is on.
6 rolling in.
Red 6 is now rolling upside down.
Easing up. And roll.
You can hear the uncomfortable tone of his voice. He's pushing minus 2.5 G. He's now the right way up. The other 3 are the wrong way up. They're flying the mirror roll.
Holding the back. Now. And 6 rolling out.
You can hear the pain in his voice. Minus 2.5 G is a very uncomfortable experience, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you from experience. Looking left now to find the 5 headlights of Enid.
Jippo, smack off, go. Enid, right on, go. 10 and 3. Roll. Go.
The inside pilots perform tight rolls to the outside in the rollbacks.
Clear. Move.
Those fabulous red, white and blue rollbacks finish down to our right.
Come in. Left. Now.
Look now at Beachy Head, where you'll see the 4 aircraft of Jippo.
It's smoke off, go. Jippo, smoke on, go. Rolling in.
Red 6 and 7 are now rolling upside down in close formation.
8 and 9. Roll. Go.
Reds 8 and 9 roll around them in the corkscrew. Well, let's give the synchro pair a big wave as they fly past upside down. Big wave, everybody. They roll out down to our left. Red 7 there working very hard. He's flying his jet only 8 feet away from Red 6. He's doing that while he's upside down. Looking right, 45 degrees now.
Easy. Up. Turn one. Go. And roll.
Enid are back in a leaders benefit shape, this time with 5 aircraft, and they're going to draw a red, white and blue snake-like shape of smoke in the sky now as they fly the Python.
Hold in the fight. Now. 4, fight. Holding. Watch up. Stop. And run.
You see Reds 2, 3, 4 and 5 change their smoke to white as Red 1 starts to use some coloured smoke, and we produce that smoke by injecting diesel fuel into the aircraft's engine exhaust, which burns at 400 degrees C. That makes it vaporise. The white smoke is pure diesel. We get the red and blue by adding a dye to that diesel. We can carry 5 minutes of white and a minute each of red and blue. Looking straight ahead now to find Jippo.
Go. Let's get started, boss. 8 and 9. Roll.
Reds 8 and 9 pitch up to roll around the synchro pair. They then pitch up to perform their own rolls. Cameras ready as they split in the Jippo break.
Go.
Out to the left with the blue smoke changing white is Red 7. He is synchro number 2, Flight Lieutenant Steve Morris. Steve is in his 3rd year as a Red Arrows pilot. He started off his career as an instructor on the Hawk and then went on to fly both the Harrier GR9 and the Tornado GR4 before he joined the Red Arrows. That's him out on the left, Mark out on the right. They're currently perched at 1,500 feet. They start their descent to 100 feet for their final manoeuvre of the display as they get ready to fly the double rolls. Ladies and gentlemen, let's please have a huge round of applause for the fabulous synchro pair. Looking out directly ahead now, you'll see Enid being joined by Reds 8 and 9 for the display's finale. They're in Vixen formation, ready for the Vixen break. You've been watching the Royal Air Force Aerobatic team, the Red Arrows! There you go, Red 1 puts some purple smoke on simply by pressing both the red and the blue buttons at the same time so that all 8 other aircraft can see him easily, and they're going to rejoin and head back to Biggin Hill Airport where our team of engineers are going to turn the aircraft ready for our transit to our home base of RAF Scampton this evening. So this evening we're going to fly back up to Lincolnshire. So that's them joining out crowd front. But ladies and gentlemen, that is not quite it. I've just been told by Red 1 that they have some extra fuel left. So before they head back to Biggin Hill, they're going to give us another fabulous fly past coming in from the Beachy Head direction in just a couple of minutes' time. So they're going to go get ready for that, and then I'll talk you through when they're going to arrive. I've talked about it a lot during this display, ladies and gentlemen, about the securing the skies that the Royal Air Force are doing now and have done even since the days of its formation in 1918. But I'd like to dedicate this display today to a Mr. Graham Warner. It's Graham's 90th birthday today, and he served in the Royal Observer Corps. I talked about them securing the skies, not just the pilots, but everybody had their part to play. And the Royal Observer Corps was exactly that. They were spotting aircraft coming across the coast, and they would report that to the fighter squadrons. And Mr. Graham Warner, whose 90th birthday it is today, did exactly that. He served just down the road here at Pevensey, where he was spotting those enemy aircraft crossing the coast. He then also played an active part in the D-Day landings, where he was a seaborne observer, and it's his birthday today. Sadly, Graham's wife of 70 years passed away only 2 weeks ago, so we would like to dedicate this display to the hero Graham and in the memory of his lovely wife Phyllis. So ladies and gentlemen, if we can give a big round of applause to Graham on his birthday. 90 years old today, he lives just down the road, and I'm hoping he's listening to Airbourne radio so he can hear that message. Well, the pilots, you can see them getting into big battle again, that big arrival V-shape. They're going to come in from your right-hand side. Now, everybody around the commentary box, it's audience participation time. When the pilots fly past, I'm going to transmit on my radio, and it's your turn then to give a big clap and cheer so they can hear how much you enjoyed the display. So, ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy the display this afternoon? Right, it's a very old radio. You need to be 3 times as loud as that. I'm going to raise my left hand with the radio in it. When I do so, I'll press the transmit button, and that's your cue to give the biggest clap and cheer as you possibly can. So cameras ready. I'm about to raise my hand. The smoke's about to come on. Let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Here they come for the final time at Eastbourne for 2015. It's the Royal Air Force Aerobatic team, the Red Arrows! So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. They've got to get back to Biggin Hill, which takes around 3 minutes in one of these aircraft. I apologise for showing off for those who have to now sit in the traffic to get back to a similar location. If you'd like to find out more about the Red Arrows, then visit our tent here at the RAF Village, or go to our website, raf.mod.uk/reds, or on Facebook, RAF Red Arrows, Twitter, @RAF Red Arrows. I'd be grateful if you could share your pictures, please, @RAF Red 10 on my personal Twitter page, and we'll see who got the best photo here at Eastbourne today. Well, it has been a pleasure talking to you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed what has been a fabulous weekend of flying. I wish you all the very best now on behalf of the Royal Air Force and from everybody at the Red Arrows. Have a safe journey home, everyone.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Squadron Leader Mike Ling. Absolutely outstanding commentary and a superb display as always for the inimitable Red Arrows. A really superb day closing this 4th day of a remarkable and hugely exciting and entertaining Airbourne 2015. On your way out, if you want to keep this show going, please give a quid to the bucket collectors. They've got red t-shirts and red buckets. There's plenty of time still to spend with the Royal Air Force, the Navy and the Army in the Tri-Service exhibition on the Western Lawns. No fireworks tonight. Sorry about that. You missed a great show last night. Keep your reports and pictures coming in if you wish to the Eastbourne selfie hashtag there, and that'll be great to exchange your notes. Don't rush. Pace yourself on the way home. Please smile at the stewards. Huge numbers of volunteers have been keeping this show going. Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful weekend it has been. And there have been hundreds of people putting this all together over the course of the last few days, and we just hope that you will be able to thank them on your way out. Volunteers all over the place, stewards on doors, Rotary clubs have been helping out, Southern Railway, hundreds of sponsors like Ansvar, Shepherd Neame, TJ's Nightclub, Southern Railway, Caffins Volvo, Geo Collins, Sussex Newspapers, Frontier Fireworks, Eastbourne Motoring Centre, Serco, Saxon Plants, all sorts of people. Even individuals putting in money, Jane Howard, David Dickens and Brian Bunce, to keep some of the displays going here today. And it's just wonderful to have them all. And all those people out there doing the horrible jobs, emptying the waste bins, cleaning the loos for you, and even cleaning the streets as well. And if you want to listen to the news and the reports of the air display on the way home, tune in to 87.7 Airborne Radio, and hopefully they'll keep you appraised of the traffic as well. But have a safe journey home. Please, please, please remember the kids. Don't leave them behind. And then all your personal belongings, please, be most helpful indeed. Give a quid in the buckets, in the red buckets, the red T-shirts. Have a super, super evening.